Hello, this is Akshay. This year I cleared the UPSC exam, I think in 2017. Recent results were announced and my name was in the list. I cleared it in the first attempt. So I just want to share my sources and the book list with you, including I'll be discussing the syllabus prescribed by UPSC for the general studies, not for optional. Optional, I think it's not recommendable to discuss here because to discuss an optional syllabus or optional book list, there should be some demand. General studies, it is open for everyone to discuss here, so I'm just doing this. Yeah. I'll be providing you the required sources which I followed. I'm neither forcing you or persuading you to follow only these sources, but it could be helpful for you one or the in some or the other way. Yeah. As you know, the paper one deals about the general essay, which carries 250 marks, and it contains two sections. In one section, four essays will be given, and yeah, we have to choose one from each of those. And for me, when I was writing, the problem was that if they ask me to write one essay and one essay is given, no problem. But they are giving me four essays and ask me to write just one. So it's my matter of choice whether to what to choose and when to choose. So it became very difficult for me because all the four essays I thought that I'm well equipped with, and all four essays I thought I can do good. So choosing one in four for me was much difficult in at that point. So what you should do is that first you do not focus on essay paper at all. Complete your general studies paper as soon as possible and read the current affairs intensely daily so that you'll get a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge you can apply to the essay paper. After 6 to 7 months of your preparation, start writing an essay. Then you just start writing an essay daily. You'll get perfection in it. I am very sure about it. So just forget about the essay paper. Just finish the general studies syllabus as soon as possible with the kind of standard books I prefer here, and the books you might also have and other toppers also might suggest. And we just go to paper 2, which is general studies 1 paper, which contains history and geography majorly. It contains Indian culture, art, architecture, literature, music, etc. And what I followed for this was a book called Nitin Singhania. Nitin Singhania's art and culture book, and he's also an IAS officer, I think. It is a very good book because the main advantage which the book contains is like it is very pictorial. It contains many diagrams, figures, and all, so that we can understand the subject very easily, and we'll get to know what to read, what not to read once you look into the book. Yeah, based on he completely analyzes on what questions are coming from which chapter and all, the weightage and etc. So that you'll get to know more about it, more about what art and culture basically is. He describes each and every point intensely because the kind of architecture, arts, music, cinema, all are there in that. You can follow that. You just give a reading, you'll understand. Yeah. I read the book for 4 to 5 times, I think so. Underline each and every point which I felt important. And I followed another book called Tamil Nadu 11th class book on history, which I recommended for many students because what I felt was it was very concise, very easy, and not too bulge. And syllabus was written in a very lucid way. We can understand each and every point. I used to hate the ancient history part, but after reading this book, I changed my opinion because very beautifully presented and chronologically completely structured it was. Just go through it, you'll love it. Yeah. And for modern Indian history and freedom struggle, I followed Bipin Chandra's India's Struggle for Freedom. A very, very, very good book it was. Because, see, to read modern history, I think only point is that just don't read that just like a history or something else. Because you just be in the position, you just imagine that you are in the freedom struggle, how would you have been reacted? Uh, Bipin Chandra presents us the modern history in a very completely comprehensive manner because he's a scholar. He did not write for UPSC because we are reading it for UPSC, but his intention was not that. Just go through it, Bipin Chandra, you'll love it. Yeah. And another book which is very important for our civil science aspirants to read and to attempt this exam is one book by Spectrum Publications. I think Rajveer Ahir, some person is there. He's an IPS officer. He has written the book Spectrum Publications, Modern Indian History. A very good book, because in the prelims we kind of meet with some many surprising facts and objectives which were given in the spectrum many times, because he completely written the book for UPSC itself, civil service itself. So just go through the book. You have to go through it because no other option is there for us. Bipin Chandra and Spectrum is enough for modern history, I think. And post-independence consolidation and reorganization. If we come to that, I followed Bipin Chandra's India Since Independence. It's a book called India Since Independence, or India After Independence, I think so. Very, very, very good book. One of the best books I've ever read. Because in that book, he covers polity, history, science and technology, economy, everything, including 1990s reforms, etc. Up to Manmohan Singh government, he covered, I think so. Very, very, very good book. You have to read it because you will understand what Congress is immediately after the independence, what coalition governments when they were formed. I think in the recent prelims also they asked us the question to put in the chronology, or another question like when were the first time the coalition governments formed in India. That kind of questions they are asking. So that is completely from this book, or you can read any other book, but this is the best book I've ever read. I'm saying that, I'm just suggesting you. It's a matter of your choice whether to go for it or not. And coming to the history of the world, it is very important to go through the world history part, because without reading world history you can't become a civil servant, because you have to know what happened in 1700s, etc., which changed the complete world. For industrial revolution, I did not follow any particular book, and it is a very important topic because questions are being asked from industrial revolution. And to master the concept, I somehow got to know that one lecture is there in YouTube by a lecturer called Sandeep Madhudane, who belongs to PT Science Academy. He posted a lecture, 2.5 hours lecture, I think so, on industrial revolution. It is a very, very, very good lecture. I watched it, and he has complete conceptual clarity, and he explains in a very, very comprehensive manner. Just go through it because he knows what the UPSC pulse is. He says in a complete easy manner that an average LKG or UKG student can understand. Yeah, just go through it. On industrial revolution, that is enough. You can do. Just go through the lecture and go through the previous questions on the industrial revolution which UPSC asked. Yeah. And for topics like French Revolution, American War of Independence, American Civil War, redrawal of boundaries, Italian unification, German unification, I watched lectures given by Pratik Nayak. A person called Pratik Nayak is there on a channel. He teaches on a channel called Mrunal. There is a channel called Mrunal. It is primarily an economics channel, but Mrunal teaches economy. But in that channel, you can find different various subjects, and world history is one of those, taught by a person called Pratik Nayak. He teaches in a very good way. It makes some sense. Of course, he teaches some mistakes, but of course, 90% of it is right. And you can follow his lectures and write the exam. I'm very sure about it. I followed them because you need not do PhD on world history, because it's not our cup of tea, it's not our job, because we have to write an answer which should be like 200 to 250 words. So no need to master it, but just you have to understand what happened, what are the causes, consequences, how it affected the entire world and especially India. These are the questions you have to answer while reading topics of the world history. And for events since 1900, that is the First World War, Second World War, colonization, NAM, decolonization, UN, etc., I strictly recommend you to follow a book called I think I don't remember the book, but I remember the author's name, Norman Lowe. A person called Norman Lowe is there. He has written a book, Mastering the World History, I think so. It is the name of the book. He has written a book on world history. Fantastic book. You'll love the entire book, each and every page. He describes World War and World War I and II in such an intense manner that you will be stepping into the war background when you read the book. So I recommend you to read the book, each and every page. Especially the political science students have to read it, because if you don't understand world history, you can't understand the global politics. So to understand that, you have to master the world history concepts first of all. And questions like UN and NAM are coming directly in our essay papers or political science papers every year. So you have to have a good grip on that. So just I would recommend you to read this book in particular. Political science students and general studies students should also know. And for getting a good hold on ideologies like capitalism, communism, socialism, again, a lecture was posted by Sandeep Madhudane, same person, on his channel called PT Science Academy. He posted a lecture on YouTube. So he described all the ideologies: capitalism, communism, socialism, etc. Just go and watch it. I completely recommend that because I'm sure that he'll explain it in a better way. I did not watch it though, but I read it somewhere. But he'll present you in a very lucid manner, easy manner. So just go through it. Go through it and